At my ex's wedding, his bride took the mic and said, "I saved him from that broken woman." Guests laughed and toasted. Then a waitress walked up, took off her hat, and said, "I'm his daughter, and I have something to say." The bride turned white. I was sitting at the back of the ballroom when the bride raised her champagne glass and said, "I saved him from that broken woman." People laughed. They actually laughed. Some clinked glasses, others nodded, smiling like she had just delivered the punchline of the night. I could feel my face flush, not from shame, but from the heat of every buried memory, rising to the surface. My stomach turned, but I stayed seated. I didn't cry, I didn't flinch. Then through the glitter and noise, a waitress stepped forward. She moved slowly, like she was walking through water. She reached the center of the room, right by the head table, and without saying a word, she took off her cap, held it in her hand and looked directly at the bride. "I'm his daughter," she said, "and I have something to say." The laughter stopped. The bride's face dropped, drained of all color. Her mouth stayed open, but no words came out, just silence. Pure, sharp silence. And that's when everything changed. You ever get that gut feeling, that you shouldn't be somewhere, that tight pull in your chest that says, "Turn around"? That was me, sitting in my car, outside the Ridgewood Grand Hotel, clutching an ivory invitation with gold trim and shaking hands. It came in the mail a month ago, no return address, just my name, Amara Lane, written in neat calligraphy, I didn't recognize. I almost threw it away. Who sends an ex-fiancé's wedding invite to the woman he left behind? At first I thought it was a mistake, then I thought maybe it was some weird olive branch, or but the truth, deep down, I knew what it was, an announcement, a warning, a way to make sure I knew that Gavin Rhee, the man I spent 6 years building a life with, was officially erasing me. I hadn't seen him in 3 years, not since he left our apartment, in the middle of the night after I lost the baby. He didn't even look back, just said he couldn't live in sadness anymore, packed a duffel bag, left a note and vanished. But it wasn't just me he left, it was her too. Laya, his daughter, from a woman who walked out years before we met. She was 5 when she came to live with us. From the second she held my hand and called me mommy, I stopped being just someone who loved Gavin. I became someone who belonged to her. When Gavin left, Laya stayed, not by accident, but by choice. For months, I was a shell. Waking up felt like dragging myself through cement. The silence in our home was unbearable. Every photo, every song, every corner of the apartment, held echoes of a family that barely got a chance to exist. There were days I couldn't even pick up the phone. I stopped answering friends. I stopped looking in mirrors, but I still packed Laya's lunch. I still braided her hair. I still helped her study for spelling tests, while trying not to let her see me cry. One night I was sitting on the bathroom floor, shaking after yet another call from a debt collector. Laya knocked on the door. She was 10, barely up to my ribs. She pushed the door open, sat down next to me, and handed me a peanut butter sandwich. "You forgot to eat," she said. I think that was the moment I realized I wasn't alone. And if she wasn't giving up on me, I couldn't give up on myself. It took 2 years of therapy, odd jobs, and nights reading self-help books just to feel human again. But slowly, I found pieces of myself I'd forgotten I started designing again, websites, logos, anything I could get freelance. I moved us into a